Hi, I'm Puneet Sikka, and I'm with the percussion ensemble Temple of Drum. Their composition is called Villager and Stranger. Go for it. needless to say, you guys were phenomenal. Thank you so much. I want to ask you, Suchet, what made you choose a percussion ensemble?
I mean, we're all percussionists. That's something that we have in common, love for rhythm. And, all of us go out there and we play and support a lot of different acts. We support singers, we support dancers, we support theater. But I was thinking, like, what happens to all the repertoire of drum? We don't get to see that very often. Even a tabla solo is quite a rarity, let alone djembe or boran, or tombak. So the idea was to unite all the percussionists, all the good percussionists of the city, and bring them together so that we could present our repertoire that we've learned, traditionally, as well as bring in our own thoughts, our own ideas to take this forward into the, new millennium or the new century, and present it in a very interesting way so that you don't feel that there's an absence of anything. So that was the idea behind it.
So, how do you present such a repertoire for a show of a stage? Um, I'm interested to know.
So, like, we have a traditional piece called Tiriba, which we've performed now for you, the Villager and Stranger. That's a basic rhythm with two different voices and an opening call. That's how it would traditionally be played, an accompaniment with dunduns. So, what we've done is we've woven a story around it. It just came out in the jamming. Nitin and Bintang both are like play delicately, exquisitely, and they also have a lot of youthful, vibrant energy. So Nitin is like this guy who comes to a crossroad on the outskirts of a village, So he's the stranger and he's looking for, are there any friends around here? Is there some food to eat? Can I get a drink somewhere? And so he calls out on his drum. And Bintang is like the village, honcho, and he's like, who dares walk on my turf? Somebody else playing the djembe, and he comes out and he answers in this like crackerjack sort of way. And then Nitin, who's normally an easygoing guy, says, hey, wait a minute, I've got a few chops of my own too, And Bintang says, oh, you do? Listen to this. And there's a dialogue for a while, and then I come out and say, hey guys, music is all about love and peace, so let's make love and peace, And then we all start to play together, and suddenly all the friends come together and we join in. So it becomes, like a stranger coming to the village and becoming part of that. So that's how we present it. And everybody has their solos, and I have all these interesting ideas that about inversions, for example, that you can play a rhythm its normal way, or you can shift it to a different place, or you can play it upside down. And we worked a little bit on that, and we found all these beautiful new ways of presenting this traditional repertoire while still keeping the respect for the tradition and showcasing that as well. So that's how we present it, so that it becomes very interesting. And the other musicians like Sina, who's normally a Persian percussionist, takes on the role of the bass drum, and Amit, who's a Middle Eastern percussionist on darbuka, he plays the KenKen, and Mohit takes the shakers, and that also gives Glenn a chance to showcase his kas skills, because he normally plays boran or didgeridoo. So everybody then takes on this new role. So we're also growing as musicians as we evolve.
Right. So, lastly, I want to know, what is it that triggers a composition? Is it like something you've heard, a melody in your head? Is it something from the environment? What triggers that process? How do you sort of say, okay, this is it, and let's build on this?
Some pieces we already feel are like composed, like rumba. That's one of our first pieces that I could already feel that this is a very good structure, and the musicians adopt it and they build on that. Other pieces, like Sina brought an idea for a 7-beat piece. We called it Sina 7, and we just in his absence we arranged the whole piece, and when he came back we told him this is what you have to play. Yet another piece from Mohit, I think it was Orbit or Ara Chotal. We were in the hotel room in Bombay, Ara Chotal, and three of us were sharing a hotel room, and him and me were lying down just looking at each other, and that piece just got composed over there, lying in the hotel bed. And so everybody also brings their own ideas and their influences, and what we do is the rehearsals is like the laboratory space. If it's working, we can all feel it, and if it's not working, then we all share, okay, this is, and even the person who brings it can feel that, okay, this is not working, then we change it. So in that sense it belongs to all of us, the repertoire and all of that. So and we also play it differently every time, so it's very fresh when we present it each time.
I was quite curious about that instrument you have in your hand. Do you want to tell me something about it? Maybe play it for us?
Okay, just before I play it, it's Irish drum, and we pronounce it Baron. That's a Gaelic name. So that's the frame drum, but this one you play with one stick, and one hand. So you move with your hand at the back, you just modulate the sound so you can get the high and the low. And okay, I just the stick and the hand.
called a tipper, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's the traditional Irish way to play it. But for me, it was quite challenging actually because in Irish traditional music, you play mostly jigs and reels, which are like 4x4 or 3x4. And I came in the ensemble, and then I had to adjust with some 14/7 and all this kind of tricky rhythm cycle. So it was really really nice experience to introduce this traditional instrument that I've never seen in India ever. So it's like even in Europe, it's quite rare. You just see that in the Irish circle, and I think that's what is really also Temple of Drum is bringing sound and rhythm from different parts of the world and finding the way to bring them together rather than just sticking to what we used to play with, but how we bring them together.
We have a piece called Speaking Tongues, where we don't actually have our instruments. We're only doing parhant, taking the vocal language of tabla, and everybody has a role to play in that as well, even if parhant is not their tradition. So Bintang and Sina and Glen, they all bring in a different flavor and element because tabla is global now, And we also, apart from all the pieces that we do, we also respect and perform the work of contemporary composers like Shane Shanahan. We are doing a piece of his. So he's a young composer from the Silk Road Ensemble, percussionist, specialist in Middle Eastern percussion. So we do a piece of his called Saidi Swing. Also, some of the granddaddies of contemporary percussion like Steve Reich. We are performing clapping music from his repertoire. So we also keep an eye out on the world, what is happening in the world of contemporary percussion, and perform the pieces we like because, there have been people like Steve Reich or in today's world, Shane, who are also working. But they have composed the pieces and they have put it out into the world. And what an ensemble like us can do is bring our flavor into that and showcase those pieces like from this perspective. So it makes it very interesting also. It breathes life into those pieces.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.